Welcome back to the Looking Forward podcast, where we tackle some of the most pressing enterprise challenges. I'm Alejandro Jagerman. I'm the CEO of Ampersand Consulting.
And I'm Jen, the Director of Operations at Ampersand Consulting.
On today's episode, we're going to tackle planning for 2025, and we're going to attempt to separate the signal from the noise.
And we thought this would be relevant given that we ourselves are currently starting to think about our plans for next year. And the landscape, as it does every year, has shifted quite a lot. And so these are some, I would say, newer challenges faced by a lot of organizations today, I think, when planning for the year ahead.
And we've come up with 3 key questions that we'd like to explore with you today to help you set up for success. Jen, what are those questions?
First up, how can we equip our teams with the skills they need in 2025? Followed by, what opportunities can we create by embracing AI to enhance creativity and innovation across all levels of our organization? And finally, in what ways can we synergize human expertise with AI capabilities to solve complex challenges and unlock new market potentials?
All right, shall we jump into the first one?
Let's jump in. How can we equip our teams with the skills they need in 2025?
Now here, I feel like there's so much noise around this question, right? One of the main themes in terms of the noise here is around fear, is around AI is going to replace the humans, right? Something I like to talk a lot about, and I've been doing a lot of work around in terms of visualizing the future of the workforce. And my stance on this has been pretty consistent. I don't believe that machines are going to replace humans. I believe that humans are going to leverage machines more in better ways than they have in the past. So I feel like the noise here is machines are going to replace us. AI is going to replace us. What's the signal?
I think the signal is that, yes, AI is probably rewriting your job description, but it's not necessarily taking away your value. The more we can focus our efforts on areas where AI may be lacking or where the human element is still predominant is super important right now. And at an organizational level, we really need to foster a culture of AI literacy, but also a culture of reskilling employees so that they don't need to necessarily lose their roles or their jobs because AI can do some of the skill. It's more about how can they focus on the areas where AI can't.
Right. I think one way I like to put it is you don't need to be an AI expert to be an expert with AI. And to be an expert with AI, we want to build skills around creativity, strategic thinking, resilience, adaptability. And those are not technical skills in the realm of machine learning or data science or data visualization even. These are human traits. These are human skills. And one thing that I think we should all be thinking about when it comes to planning for 2025 is, are we setting up the right environment for our folks to thrive, right? Are we creating a space that feels safe for people to try new things, to take risks, for people to learn with each other, to communicate, build community around each other in such a way that they feel empowered to take on this new technology and leverage it to make their work better, make their lives better, frankly?
Yeah, it's a shift in culture and a shift in mindset for sure. But understanding where people are at is a great first place to start. So do a pulse check going into 2025. Understand which individuals or teams or departments are more or less receptive to AI and are adopting it or maybe fearful towards it. Address it based on understanding where people are at and helping them understand that it can be something that really improves their job quality and can make them love their work even more, versus it just being something to be afraid of.
Again, yeah, here the noise is AI is here to take my job. The signal is our humanity is here to make the most of AI. And how do we help our teams thrive in 2025? So however you're planning for next year, setting up your goals, making out your programs and building out your strategy, let's make it in a way where these unique human endowments are set up to thrive. And think about those folks that may not have been in a role where thinking creatively was a big part of what they were doing every day, or thinking strategically was a big part of what they were doing every day, or doubling down on their empathy was something that they were doing every day. But now, thanks to the availability of AI and the ability of AI to take on some of the more repetitive tasks that they had under their purview, now they have the space and the time to thrive in those areas, but they might not have the experience and the skills in those areas. So how do we make sure they have what they need to succeed?
Yeah, what they need, and give them the time too. Like you said, I think the time piece is important. It can be daunting to think that you have to carve time out to upskill or reskill on top of, your already 9 to 5 job. So as you're planning, maybe figure out how to give your team some time to do that. Workshops, group learning sessions are always great, but make that a part of the plan.
I think we can maybe move on to the next question.
All right. So let's discuss what opportunities we can create by embracing AI to enhance creativity and innovation across all levels of an organization.
Yeah. So with this question, I think when we think about what is the noise, we can look at it in different ways, but one way I think we can look at it is a lot of folks out there are hesitant as organizations to leverage AI for core creative and innovation work. So they may be using AI for communication, some content production, for marketing, for customer service, maybe sales at this point, but they're not yet leveraging AI to drive the innovation within their core business, to drive creativity within the way they create products and services and innovate around those products and services. And the hesitancy a lot of times comes from, well, I'm guarding my secret sauce. I don't want my data to be manipulated or leveraged or shared by these systems with, other parties. And it is a valid concern. And I think we should be very careful about the tools and technology we use and where we put our data and how we expose that data, be it our first party data or our PII data that maybe we have and we can leverage and we do leverage on our own. But a lot of these services have very clear terms where they guarantee they will not be using your data to train their models. They will not be sharing your data with third parties or selling your data to third parties. And so I think it's time that this noise turns more into the signal. And the signal is get comfortable, leverage your first party data, get comfortable with incorporating AI into your core creative and innovation flows, because it's going to accelerate those flows and it's going to let you iterate and try a lot of new and different things.
Yeah, think of it as a co-creator. So even if it's not a concern around governance or protecting your data, it's also, we're talking about embracing AI to enhance creativity across the whole organization. I think we should also think of it as how are maybe some of the employees who are more entry level or somewhere in the middle are feeling more empowered to make bigger contributions, perhaps to their organization by the creativity that AI allows. Across all levels of the org, how is this breaking down barriers? How is this allowing different areas of the business to interact with one another, share information? I think there's a lot of opportunity there too for it to really enhance creativity. Something we're doing is using it as a filter. So anytime someone's working on something on their own or perhaps feeling in a silo, before sharing it with someone else, we ask the question, did you run this through ChatGPT? Did you use AI as a second opinion to ensure that you're getting the absolute best idea possible? So it almost acts as like another set of eyes for you, which is pretty cool and can allow one person to have more impactful ideas. Something that I saw recently that I really liked was a video of an author saying that she often feels very lonely when she's suffering from writer's block, and AI has helped her feel less lonely in that process. I think if people can take that kind of mindset, they might unlock more creative and innovative solutions to something that maybe they're stumbling on.
Yeah, for sure. That makes a lot of sense. It's something that you can do with AI. But so in the context of planning for 2025 and how to maximize the opportunities where we can embrace AI to enhance creativity and innovation across all levels of our organization, how do we turn that into a plan? How do we turn that into a goal?
For one, allows us to dream a little bigger, to make our goals more aggressive or ambitious than they were previously, even in terms of eliminating imposter syndrome to a degree, like that second guess you might have on the length of time it will take to achieve something across the organization, or do we have the capabilities to do so? You can recalculate those metrics based on how quickly things can excel by incorporating AI into the mix.
Yeah. Okay. So it's like a recalculating route. Now we have this super highway
Kind of. Yeah.
of creativity and innovation because of one of the main things I think it enables in that sense is, and I'm trying not to get into like the next question here with my comment, but yeah, one way to make sure that it happens across the entire organization is you got to break the silos.
Yeah.
Right? How do you leverage AI in your planning? How do you leverage AI to break the silos? So I don't have an answer for that, but it's a good question. And planning is all about asking the right questions. All right. So the noise here is I'm afraid to leverage AI in my core creative and innovative processes across the organization. The signal is, why not?
Face your fears.
All right. Number 3.
In what ways can we synergize human expertise with AI capabilities to solve complex challenges and unlock new market potentials?
Oh, what a great question. So I like to say that the noise here is we're too late, right? I think a lot of organizations out there feel like, Gen AI has been around for 2 years now. AI has been around for much, much longer than that. And it's too late for me to do this, or I'm going to be so behind.
I'm too far behind.
The truth is,
it's never too late.
It's never too late.
It's not going anywhere. Organizations are really just getting started. A recent study that we read indicated that only 7% of organizations say they use AI in strategy or even financial planning. So that's a really small percent of the market that's even leveraging it so far. So you're not behind. There's a ton of organizations just getting started.
Right. And I think the same study said that only 25% use it for marketing.
Yes, exactly. That it was somewhere between 25 to 30% were using it for marketing, supply chain, and service operations.
Oh my God, I can't believe that.
I mean, I can because it's daunting and it's hard to get started, but it's also not going anywhere. So you haven't missed it. It's not too late.
Yeah, I think also yes, generative AI has been around for 2 years, around 2 years. In the beginning, there was a lot of focus on everyone adopting it and leveraging it. And I think a lot of organizations kind of took for granted the fact that that was available. And if they look at right now, actual use of generative AI and other AI within their stack, they find the study to be accurate. So the noise is we're too late. The signal is, no, you're not. Actually, we're all early in this. And the very nature of this technology provides the leapfrogging abilities in terms of progress. So even if you are late within your own industry or your own market segment, be able to leapfrog your competitors by just finding different ways to use it,
For sure.
different ways to incorporate it.
Yeah. And it's also not all or nothing. It's not something you have to implement on day one across all parts of your organization. Use it as building blocks. Start in areas where it makes the most sense or it might be easiest to implement. Be realistic about your timeline. We're planning for a year of time. So what's realistic within 1 year, and work towards that and see where it goes from there.
Yeah, well, I'm actually going to say that now is the time to make big, bold, scary bets on the future. The ability to innovate with the use of AI is greatly accelerated. The ability to iterate is greatly accelerated. So dust off that old backlog of opportunities, market opportunities, product opportunities. Find those things you thought once were not possible. And think again as you plan for 2025. Dream big for 2025. Stretch your goals in 2025. Test and challenge your folks in 2025. Make sure your incentives are aligned, because the only way for an organization to achieve big things in 2025 with the help of AI or without is by empowering the folks on your teams to achieve their goals in 2025. So you should, as an organization, dust off your backlog, find all those amazing opportunities from the past that you thought were not within reach.
Or gaps in your skill set.
Challenge your team and your people to do the same. For them to review their backlog, for them to review their career goals, for them to challenge themselves on, hey, maybe I thought I needed 5 to 10 years to reach a certain point in my career before. Maybe it's not 5 to 10 years. Maybe I had a goal I thought I would be able to achieve by 2026 or 2027. Maybe it's 2025.
Yeah, I like that. Anything's possible.
So again, the noise here is we're too late. The signal is,
no, you're not.
All right. So if you're going through the process and the exercise of planning for 2025, strategic plans, business plans, whatever kind of plans you're making, we'd love to hear from you. If there's other questions you're trying to answer that we didn't explore today, let's hear them. Let's try to solve them together. If there's other answers that we didn't provide to the questions that we had, let's hear them. Let's discuss. Let's debate. As always, you can do that in our comments. You can do that on LinkedIn. We also have now a Looking Forward podcast Instagram account.
Yes, we do.
We have an x.com account.
We're all over the socials.
We have a Threads account. And we'd love to hear more from you. Jen and I were talking about, we need more ideas for shows.
Yeah. I mean, we want to understand what people want to hear more about. What's interesting? What's on your mind? What are the challenges that organizations are facing?
Well, anyway, as we look forward to 2025 here at Ampersand Consulting and here at the Looking Forward podcast, I find myself filled with gratitude. Gratitude to our listeners, gratitude to the team, the amazing team at Ampersand Consulting who keep crushing it every day, and gratitude to our listeners.
From all over the world.
From all over the world.
Thank you so much. All right, that concludes this episode of the Looking Forward podcast. We'll see you next time to tackle some more business challenges with innovative solutions.
And until then, keep looking forward.